Hello, I'm June Kinnemer at the Scottsboro Electric Power Board, and I'm here with some fascinating young people. Brent, I'm including you in the young people thing.
Thank you.
I'm here with some fascinating young people, and we're going to talk about something that's interested me for years. It's the International Student Exchange, when we exchange students with other countries and so on.
Right.
And some of you I know have met students through the years who have come from other countries, and Brent Miller is here. I know most of you know this man. He is here to tell us some about it. Now, Brent, you've been involved in this 6 or 7 years, haven't you, son?
Yeah, I started in 2009 with my first student from Germany. And I tried to let it go and get out of it, but I just couldn't quite get away from it. I love it so much, enjoy it so much.
That is great. Well, was this one of your students you had?
No, Lily was one that I supervised. I'm a local coordinator in the area, and so she's one that basically I matched her up with her host family, and then from there I just kind of worked with her throughout the year to make sure she behaved well enough.
Great.
I did, by the way.
I know you
Yes,
did.
you did.
All right, Lily's from Austria, and we're going to talk with her just in a moment, but I want to get some more information from Brent first. I know most of you know Brent. He's one of our city councilmen, but you were involved with this before you got involved in politics or anything. Just how did you get started? Did you have experience with this as a young person?
I did. We had a girl from Columbia when I was in junior high that we had for a half a year, and I'd always been interested in it since then. And when I had the opportunity, when I had my own house, and I thought, well, I can take in a student, everybody was saying, no, don't do that. You don't know what you're getting into. But I did it anyway, and I loved it. And I've basically been able to prove everybody wrong who said, it's not that great of a thing, but it has been. It's been excellent for my life.
I will tell you my impression of it is they send us the creme de la creme of their young people. I mean, look at this, sweet Lily. And they just, the other countries want to send us their wonderful young people. And has that been your experience?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, the majority of the students are top-notch students. Lily's an excellent example of that. She was really well. I, never had to do anything with her other than just make monthly contact with her. And
Thank you.
but she was great, and all the other students that we've had have, for the most part, they've all been great too.
That is great. Now, also another thing, Brent, that I know some of our sports fans would say is make sure you get a young guy who can kick. That's always been something we've enjoyed having, is somebody you bring in that is a great field goal kicker or extra point kicker or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of the kids, their abilities, of course, we don't know them until they get here what they can do.
Right.
But when they get out there for the first time and either get on the field or whatever, I know they always have a wonderful time playing the sport, even just to learn it. And you never know what type of hidden talent that they have until they get out there.
Right, they might have come from a soccer country, which is mostly how it works, but they come here and they can, a lot of the soccer kickers are some of our very best kickers in football. We're just a football crazy place, of course, you know that, Lily. So who got you involved in this? Was it something about Coach Hass or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I went on a tour with EF. EF, it stands for Education First, and that's
Education
the name of the
First,
company.
okay,
It's EF High School Exchange. They also do tours that the high school students can sign up for. So I had attended one of those with Miss Butler, Debbie Butler, and Miss Jones.
As a student or an adult?
Kind of as an adult, but as a chaperone.
Right.
And that was in 2009. And then when I came back, Coach Hass said, hey, I want to lead one of these tours to Germany. Let's put one together. He didn't really want to take the responsibility, and since I had been on them, he asked me to do it. So I started looking into, we got a tour together, and then as I was looking into the program, there were other ways that you could kind of earn points toward travel, and that was one of them, was hosting an exchange student. And I remember the first night that I looked into the website, I went online and I entered my information. The very next morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, I was getting a phone call from a number that I didn't know, was an out-of-area number. Well, I didn't answer it. I just kind of thought, well, I'll check voicemail later.
Yeah.
Within a minute of that call going away, I got a local number, and it was the local coordinator calling me. And so within 2 or 3 weeks, I had a student picked out and coming to me. It was in July, which was kind of late for the process, but I got Tim, my first student.
How wonderful. You've been doing it for several years now. And would you recommend hosting to someone? If I came to you and said, Brent, I've been thinking about this. What do you think? What would you say to me?
I would say absolutely. People have different reasons why they think they can't host, but there's really no reason that you can't host unless you just simply don't want to. Whether you have young kids, whether you don't have any kids, whether you're single, whether you're married or elderly or younger. The only qualification age-wise would be 25 or older. And then
I got that one covered.
well, that's pretty much what I had to
Right.
wait for
Right.
before I could
do
actually
it.
do it. Yeah, but it was. I mean, anybody that asked me about it, of course, I think they should do it. I encourage them to do it. There's a few things we have to check out to make sure that
Now,
they
tell me
that they
about
can
that.
host.
Like, what are requirements for a host family? If I came to you, what would be my commitment to you as an EF coordinator?
Well, you can take a student on a half-year or a full-year basis.
Okay, so I didn't know that at all.
Usually in the fall to December or January to June, typically. And basically, you have to provide a bedroom for the student, 3 meals a day for the student. Now, there's, if they want to go out with friends and go to the movies or something, they're responsible for that. So it's not a huge financial commitment like people think it is. And then reasonable access to activities such as sports or school. You have to get them transportation to and from
Run
school.
to the game or whatever.
Yeah,
Right, sure.
that kind of stuff. But nothing out of the ordinary, nothing more. All the students that I have ever had, that are, if you come on the program, you're required to have your own spending cash. And Lily can tell you, that she probably brought a debit card over and her parents put money on it. So if she wanted to do a school trip, if she wanted to do a sport,
that would work easily,
that's
wouldn't
stuff that
it?
she pays for.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The families have to complete like an application process, and do a background check. Anybody 18 or older has to pass a background check, and that's just to protect the student, to protect us.
Sure, absolutely.
And once all that's done, I come over, sit down with you, I talk about the program, give you basically the quick overview of it, and then answer any questions that somebody has about the program. And once I feel that they're a qualified host family, we'll go through the process and then start picking out a student for them.
That sounds wonderful. So my commitment is that the semester or the year, school year, and the meals, and the bedroom, and transportation to any needed place, that sort of thing. And then otherwise, they can make their own decisions and say what they would like to do and that sort of thing. That sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, you basically, you're just a parent to them.
Yeah, right.
So, you don't treat them any different than you treated your own kids.
So she would go with me to unclaimed baggage and we'd shop, right?
Oh, yeah.
We would.
And I know you've done that, and so I wanted to ask you about that. All right, I found someone who's very interested. Who do we call? Do we call you?
You can call me directly on my cell phone, which is 256 244 5000.
244-5000, that's easy.
Yeah. Or you can visit on the website, the EF website, which is EF High School Exchange Year. No, I'm sorry. EFExchangeYear.org is the name of the website.
EFExchangeYear.org.
Correct.
EF caps?
It doesn't matter.
EFExchangeYear.org. Okay. That's a good one to know, too. Yes. All right, and that makes sense, too. All right, well, that's exciting. So, Lily.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you get hooked up with this? How did it start with you?
Well, I've always been wanting to do that since I was a little child, and then I just, like Brent said it, I went to the website, and the next day I got a call, and then
We're pretty quick.
Yeah,
Very quick.
They are, and then I had an interview. Like we also have to do an application process and stuff like this, and then, well, I came here.
I think it's wonderful. I do want to ask you, when they said, Lily, you're going to Alabama, what did you think about the Southeast?
Well, I didn't know that much about it. Like, I've heard about it and everything, but I got my host family in January, which is really early. And so I was really excited about that, so I didn't really care where it was, because I thought I could have a great year everywhere in the U.S., and I did have a great year, so.
I know you did, and you and I had already talked about the fact that you came your junior year.
Yes, I did.
And it was last year, not this specific year. So you were with that entire group of seniors who are graduating right now and going off to school. So you came back to see your friends.
I did. I promised them last year I would come back for their graduation, and now I'm here, so I'm excited about that.
That is great. Did you make it to Memory Day? Or
I did. I was in Memory.
You were? Oh,
yes,
were you?
ma'am.
How wonderful was that?
It was
great.
awesome.
That is great. So you spent a whole year, your junior year here in school. When you went back, was the curriculum way different at home for your senior year?
Way, way different, because I'm attending a business school in Austria. And we have some subjects that are not even offered here, so I had to make that up. And math was hard too.
I can imagine.
You just have to make all up you missed. And
Because there's different systems for teaching
Yes.
math. I don't know how they do it now, Brent. I don't know how it was when you were in school here, but there was the Saxon method and the this and the that, and I don't know what. That would be very difficult, I would think.
It is, but you can make it.
You can do it. She's a
hard.
good student.
You're making it right.
Right. She's a good student.
Yeah.
That helps a lot. Well, a lot of your friends who are graduating have done fabulously well, too. We were talking about the wonderful awards day and how many awards were given out to our seniors, and it's just exciting, so exciting. Are you glad you did this? I know you said it was a wonderful experience. You're glad you did this?
Yes, I am so glad. It was the best year of my life, I can say. Yeah. I mean, I'm young, but it was still the best year of my life.
That is so wonderful
Well,
you
she
to
had
say
a good
that.
family and a good coordinator. So,
I did.
and of course Scottsboro.
And
Yeah.
Scottsboro. Well, I will tell you that Scottsboro, from all experiences I've seen, we love our young people.
You do.
And we encourage our young people, don't we, Brent? We always have done this. And anything that our young people want to do, we try to help them get to reach their goals and so on and so forth. So I'm so happy that you were here for
Thank you, ma'am.
for your junior year. That's great. So you would encourage a friend to
Yes.
be an exchange student?
Yes, of course. It's like the best thing you can ever do. And I'm actually working for EF2 in Austria. I came back and I got a job as an ambassador, and I'm helping young people to become an exchange student in the United States or
I know you're not surprised,
England.
are you, Brent?
No, not.
You knew she was capable of anything, didn't you?
Lily and most of the other ones, a lot of them end up doing this. They go back home and sign up to kind of talk to kids in their schools that they attended to try to, give them the
Yeah.
experience that they had.
I think it's wonderful.
Thank you.
I think so. If you could say the number one thing that you would look for in a host family, what would be your best hope for your girlfriend? If you brought her over here, or your little sister, and you brought her over here and she was in a home, what would be your number one thing you would hope for her and with her host family?
Love. I guess it's love, because if your host family, like, you become a real family with them, and that's just the love you're receiving from your host family.
We can do that.
Yeah.
You
We
can
can do that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're wonderful. We have some more young people that we're going to introduce to you in just a moment. But if you see Lily out and about or at graduation or after graduation with some of the seniors running around town, make sure to say hello to her and be nice. And Brent, thank you so much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much for doing this job. I think it's one. I'm not surprised by you. I've known you for and your whole family for quite a few years. But thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now I'm here with two other fine young people. And from what I understand, you have been here not quite a year, right?
No, ma'am, just around like 9 months.
About
almost
9
10.
months. And how much longer before you have to go back home?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. And where's home?
Thailand.
Thailand.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you looking forward to it, or
Not really. Still want to stay for like a month or more.
you'd like to have a little bit of summertime in the South,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same thing though, because in Thailand it's pretty hot too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Does Thailand have seasons like we do, or
yeah, we do have a season, but most of it, like, they're hot.
very hot? Yeah.
Even though in summer, I mean in winter, it's 80 degrees in winter.
80 degrees in the winter. Well, you just were cold this year.
Yeah.
What'd you do, go to baggage and get you a bunch of heavy coats or something?
Yes, I did.
Yes,
did
I
that.
know. That's what you'd have to do for sure. And this is Joanna. Your Oat is his name, and Joanna from
Sweden.
Sweden.
Yes,
And you have been here about the same amount of time as Oat?
I have.
And you're going home in a couple of weeks?
I'm going home the same day as
Same
home.
day. Well,
As
good.
Oats.
Well, good. Well, good. That'll be great. Y'all can fly back together and get back home. And how can that be? You're going two different directions.
Yeah, we can.
You're just going to get in different planes and just go different directions. There you go.
Yes.
Okay. I was trying to have you go home the same way. Oh, I need to study
I wish I could
geography,
go
don't
to
I?
college.
I need to study my geography for sure. So when you were trying to get into the EF system, the program or whatever, could you choose your country that you want to, which you wanted to? You could?
Yeah, because the first time, I mean, my choices was like, I have England, Ireland, here, and then Scotland.
England, Ireland, so the British Isles and here
Yeah.
is what your choice is.
Yes, ma'am.
And so did you say, I would like to go to America?
Yes, but at first I kind of like, I don't really want to come here because like, I don't know, like, first I was like, my mom tried to push me to do this kind of stuff. I was like, I just want to stay home and do a lot of stuff with my friends back home. But when I went here the first time, not regret anything that I did.
That's
It's
great.
the best year.
So you probably had, and I would too, have some preconceived notions about America, and you think this is how Americans are because of what, television or news or whatever. But when you came here the first time, you thought, hey, this is going to be great, and it has been.
And it is good.
That is great. So what about you? Did you have the same sort of thing, or were you just gung-ho for America?
See, my brother was an exchange student last year
Okay.
in Troy, Alabama.
Okay.
So I didn't want to come to Alabama because I wanted my own song, like Sweet Home Alabama song, wanted my own state. But when I found out that I got a placement in Alabama, I was like, well, maybe it's meant to be because my brother's here and now I'm here. So maybe it's my family's second state, like our home.
And it has turned out to be that way.
Yes,
Because your
sure.
brother went to Troy as an exchange student. Now you've been in Scottsboro, and then your host family, amazingly, in the same sort of business sort of as your father in Sweden, and now you've hooked them up.
Yeah.
Isn't that extraordinary? It's
That
extraordinary.
is.
How
It's
so
amazing.
much in life hinges on just a small decision here and a small decision there, and that's what's happened. And I think most of you have read in the paper about Joanna's family and how they're going to maybe come here and do the geothermal business here in Alabama, which is so exciting to us. We're just thrilled to death. And I'll be so tickled to meet the rest of your family, Joanne. Are they half as adorable and giggly as you are?
Yeah, I can
They
say
are.
that they are.
You can tell me. All right, good. I'm glad to hear that. So when you first heard about Alabama, you think, I want my own song and my own state and so on. But you're so glad you were here. And
I am.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been watching a lot of American television. For example, Honey Boo Boo.
oh my goodness.
And
Oh my goodness.
I kind of expected, those kind of people. But when I got here, I mean, I was amazed in a good way.
Right.
I was like, oh, thank gosh.
Thank
It's-
gosh.
Yeah.
Not Honey Boo Boo and her mama. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is too funny.
And I mean, I'm in love with the people here. It's heartbroken to leave. But I'm glad that I'm coming back. And hopefully I will do just as Lily said, come back to my class graduation and meet all my classmates and my family.
Right. Well, with the connection that now is between your family in Alabama, I mean, in Scottsboro, and then your brother's connection with Troy, too. I mean, surely y'all will be coming back and forth, and
Yes.
who knows? Who knows? Now, a while ago, Lily had said she was going to like a business kind of school and that sort of thing. So is your curriculum in Thailand and Sweden is quite different from ours or something? When you go back home for your senior year, will you be studying similar things, or how will that work, you think?
Well, it's like the season in Thailand and here is different. So in here, we're about to have a summer and get out of the school, but now
Right.
we just, in Thailand, we just started to have a school again.
So when you get home, you'll be right in the middle of everything.
Yes. And like when I get home, it's probably like, they start like for a month, so I have a lot of work to.
Oh, son. My goodness. And then when I was talking to you, you said that you would probably have to repeat your junior year
Yes, ma'am.
in Sweden. You will have to?
Because this year doesn't count. So I will take my junior year here, and then when I will go back, I will start my junior year in Sweden in August again.
That's extraordinary. And even though you're having to do your junior year twice, would you still recommend it for?
Oh yes, I mean it has been a lifetime experience here, and I just loved every minute of it, and I still do. I mean, I still have 2 weeks left, and I'm just enjoying it.
That is wonderful. Well, I know your host family has. Can you mention with which family did you stay?
I'm living with Brand Miller.
You've been living with Mr. Brent.
Yes.
Well, I hope he treated you right.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Pretty good. Well,
Yeah,
good.
pretty good.
Good. I'm glad. And you had an experience with your host family. You were living with
Holly and Pat Thompson.
Holly and Pat Thompson. Well, good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My goodness, Brent's got good connections, doesn't he? So pretty much you would tell your friends it's wonderful people who, if someone puts themselves out there and says, I will host a young person, it's generally just as fine of folks as you can imagine, isn't it? And once again, they took you to school, made sure you got to school and got to football games, baseball games, basketball, whatever it was you were interested in, and got you fixed up for prom.
Oh yes.
I can tell she got fixed up for prom. That just sounds great. That just sounds great. So there were a lot of adjustments, though, I'm sure. I mean, had to be a lot of adjustments What was the most different thing? What was the most surprising thing when you got here? What do you think?
All right. So at first, like the thing that I saw in like American movie is like they gotta be cold, they gotta wear a lot of clothes and a lot of jacket. But when I first got here in Alabama, Scottsboro, I was like, the first time I walked out of the airport, I was like, oh, it's just as hot as Thailand.
Just as hot as Thailand. Just as hot as Thailand. Oh my
But
goodness.
in the winter, it's pretty cold though. I
It
got
was.
to see the snow for the first
Got
time.
to see snow for the first time. That was fun. Did you get out and play in it, or
Yes.
you did? Did you get to try to ski or a sled or
I didn't
anything?
get to ski,
You
but
didn't get to ski. Well, you got to come back.
Yeah,
You got to come back. You
Sure.
got to do that for sure. What about you? Was it quite different from what you expected? What was the biggest difference? I know your brother had prepared you some for Alabama.
I mean, the biggest difference was the transportation, because in Sweden we have trains and buses, and we have to be 18 to drive a car. So
Not a bad thing, really.
I mean, so I was taking my bicycle or the bus or the train, and here I have to be dependable on someone that has a car.
Exactly.
So I always need to check either with my host family or with friends.
Right.
And that is probably the biggest difference.
Big adjustment. That was the biggest adjustment, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I am just thrilled to death that you came to Alabama.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry you don't have your own song, but I think Sweet Home Alabama will work for at least 2 people.
It's actually, my dad found a song that is Sweet Home Alabama, but hip hop and mix. And
So that's your song.
so that's my song now. So I'm walking around and listening to this hip hop mix of Sweet Home Alabama.
Is it the cutest thing? Did you get a song while you were here, Oat?
Not really, but Sweet
I'm
Home.
not surprised.
But Sweet Home Alabama can be my song.
Works
now,
for you
so,
too.
yeah,
That sounds
works for
great.
me.
So glad you came. So glad that you got to spend your year here, and so glad you got to meet Brent and other such wonderful people, Holly and them too. And I'm just so glad. And just encourage your folks to come back. And are you going to go home and be an ambassador, you think, also for EF? Do you think?
I probably
hope
will.
so.
Hope so. Good deal. Well, then send us lots of wonderful kids like you, just like you. And then we can just take such joy in Brent and watching them grow and mature and hearing about what you're doing with your lives. And you go home, but you tell them you're taking a lot of love from Alabama with you. How about that?
A lot of
Yes,
the
ma'am.
Southern hospitality.
A lot of Southern hospitality. We're known for that for sure. That and football. Thank you for coming to Alabama
you.
and just enjoy you kids so much, you young people. You're just beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for coming here today so we could talk.
Thank you.
Thank you.